In case you don't know what to do on the dance floor when you're out, I will teach you 3 simple yet great looking moves that you can do at any social event. If you want to know how I help my clients such as May go from feeling rigid, looking uncomfortable on the dance floor to looking like this, book a free consultation with me. You'll find the link below this video. We'll see if we can work together inside my online program, Confidence Through Dance. The first movement we're going to start with, we're going to do the 2 movements that are pretty popular. One is a 2-step and one is a hip dip or swing, and we're going to merge them together. So you're going to step open to the side, you can just mirror me. As you bring the foot in, and this is a difficult part, you're going to swing the hip, kind of like scoop it to the side. So then you finish with the hip sticking out, and then you take a step, swing, and then close the feet. 1, 2, 1, 2. You actually close the feet as you're finishing the scoop, as you're finishing the swing, I should say. So we have 1, 2, 1, 2, and it's kind of uncomfortable to leave the hip to the side like that. Don't push it too far out, but just a little accent. 1, 2, 1, 2. I also, as I step open, lift the hip a little bit to prep it, just so I have more room to swing it the other way. Up, swing, up, swing, up, swing, and up, swing. Notice that my knees are bent because we cannot swing the hip, we cannot do anything with the hip when the legs are straight, so you want to have a slight knee bend. And another thing is, for now, I'm just going to keep the arms bent, they're not participating, but later when I dance with the music, I will show you what you can do with the arms to make this movement look even better. We have 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and 1, 2. Arms ideas, I will post a tutorial with the arms and smooth hip movements below, so you can check it out. The one that I like to do the most is slowly bringing the arms up and down. It will work with this movement very well. How you bring the arms up, it doesn't matter. You just literally slow motion, bring them up and down. However, it's easier to do it with the music, because you know you're going to be feeling the music, it just flows better. But think of it as a non-stop continuous movement, whether you go just in front of you or off to the side, arms straight, arms bent, experiment with whatever feels good. Our next movement, we're going to roll the hip to the back, and we're going to start with the weight shifted to one side, the other foot is free, the heel will be lifted, and then the hardest part, you're going to make 2 circles just like that. So what happens is when I start the roll, when I push my hip diagonally forward, my heel is lifted. But when I go to the back, the heel drops. So let's just maybe get that thing going together, those 2 actions. The hip roll is closely connected to the heel, going down, down, down. So do this on one side a few times to get used to that motion. We will only do it twice on each side. So if you mirror me, on this side we'll go 1, 2, 1, 2, and then you'll switch. The weight has to shift to one side, one foot is free again, and we roll always to the back, just like that. Let's stay on this side, let's do this a couple of times, a few times, so you get used to the motion. It's totally different now when the foot is participating. The roll in general with just both feet on the floor is difficult, but now we're doing a little bit more advanced version. Okay, let's connect it slowly, starting from this side. You have 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Switch. 1, 2, and roll to the back, roll, and roll. Again. And I would just keep the arms bent, because if we start moving the arms also, it's just going to be too much. Unless this movement is easy for you, you have the hips, you have the footwork, then you can of course do something with the arms, whatever feels good. But this movement will look good even if the arms are just loosely bent in front of you. Last one. 1, 2, 1, 2. To make the hips kind of move easier with this movement, I would practice the figure 8 because it kind of involves the roll to the back, and I will post the link to the tutorial below this video so you can practice the figure 8 as well. It's kind of the similar motion, right? Because the hip goes to the back, it goes twice in a row.
Let me hold you tight until we fade away. Yeah.
The next movement I want to teach you guys today will be, well, it's also a roll, a lot of hip rolls, but we're going to move around with it a little bit, and it's going to be a transitional movement, which is a good move to put in between other moves that you're doing, just with the few reps. Let me first show you, I don't know what's easier to start with, it's going to be pretty complex. Let's start with the footwork. So you're kind of like stepping and twisting the foot that you were standing on, then you step 2 more times, right? So we make a full circle, and I'm always turning the body with every step by a quarter circle, right? So I face the side wall, I face the back, then the other side, and then I'm back to the front. So you should come back all the way around. If you didn't, find me again and then we'll try it again. As you do it, I want you to right away have the knees loosely bent and make sure the foot that you're standing on is pivoting, because otherwise we wouldn't be turning anywhere. And only once you have that set up, we're going to add a hip roll to it. We're going to be rotating the hip this time to the front. So let me show you without the feet. We're going to go off to the side, back and around in the same direction over and over again, right? So this will be the motion, and then we have to add that step to it. So we have roll and step, pivot the foot, second one, 2 more, third one, and fourth one. I'll do it again slowly. I warned you, there's a lot going on. So we have, with the first one, the hip always goes towards the leg you're standing on, right? So the one that stays in the middle, you will start with the hip going that way, back, around, and when it comes back to neutral, you start in the same, from the same exact spot. So back, diagonal, and around. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and 1, 2. Now, the reason I said it's a transitional movement is you're not going to be going like that in circles over and over again. You probably will use it maybe, you won't even have to make a full circle, honestly. You can just go 1, 2, 1, 2, and then stay, you know, dance facing somebody else. Then you come back to your initial position. So again, you're not going to be going in circles. That will look kind of funny, like you're stuck. And at the end, I'm going to show you, when I show you the transitions, how you can go from one movement to the next. I'm going to use all of the movements that I taught you today, but let's try again with the footwork. We have one foot. Remember, you're going to always go in the same direction. Step and roll, step, step and roll. Then the third one, and the last one. Again, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. We don't need the arms, but I'm just showing you a couple of options. It's very simple, just bring the arms up and down slowly. Let me try one more time before I get dizzy. 2 and 1, 2. That's pretty much it. Let's try with the music. Let's start with the first movement. Remember, we did the step and the swing.
Right now, and I'm a little numb from the love you gave me. I've been sleeping alone, can't get you off my mind. Just let me
keep the step fairly small, keep the knees bent.
Fade away. Oh,
and I'll show you some arms, slowly up and down. Keep the arms bent if this is too much. Focus on the swing of the hip. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2.
But I don't want for you to leave.
Okay. Next movement, remember we did our double roll. We have 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. Keep going.
I'm a little numb from the love you gave me. I've been sleeping alone. Can't get you off my mind.
You can look at the hip that you're moving, not all the time, but just once in a while. It also brings attention to the hip.
Just let me love you like we'll never fade away. Fade away. Just let me hold you. Just let me hold you.
And our last move, let's go around. We have 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, again.
You tight until we fade away. Fade away. Just let me love you like we'll never fade away. Fade away.
Again, it looks funny if I go in circles. And if it's hard for you to get this movement, you can first do it in place like this without turning. So let's take the turning part out. You stamp the foot down, and that's what I was mentioning before. You start with the hip opposite way to the back corner around. Once it goes to the front, you stamp again and you start over. Like this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and only then, once you have that motion, start turning. I think it will be easier like that. Guys, if you're feeling uncomfortable dancing in front of other people, you tend to avoid it, you tend to not like the way you look dancing, maybe you're stiff, you're looking rigid, you don't know what movements to do, remember that I can help. In my online program, Confidence Through Dance, I help adults go from the sidelines to enjoying themselves on the dance floor by building their skills and their confidence using my system that in the past 18 years helps students like, for example, Sky, go from not looking so great on the dance floor to being a confident dancer looking like this, or students like Lisa, who went from no skills, no rhythm, no moves, and unsure about what to do, to freely expressing herself on the dance floor. Below, you'll find a link to book a free consultation with me, where we're going to discuss your dance goals and see how we can work together inside my online program. And if you haven't yet, check out my free 45-minute masterclass where I explain my method, how I became a confident social dancer, how I helped thousands of my clients. The link will be below as well. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel for more videos just like this one. Hit the bell to be notified whenever I post, and I will see you in my next tutorial. Bye!
So I get a little drunk and I text you, baby, wondering if you're home, 'cause I need someone right now. And I'm a little numb from the love you gave me. I've been sleeping alone, can't get you off my mind. Just let me hold you tight until we fade away.